One of the traits I find most accounting students have is that they are perfectionists. And in a lot of cases, a lot of them feel like this is a strength. And I think we need to understand perfectionism a little bit more because the reality is that it's quite a dangerous trait to have. And it's something that we have to work on if we are and if we do struggle with perfectionism. So a lot of people tell me, a lot of students tell me, no, Yvonne, I'm not a perfectionist because I don't get great marks. I don't get distinction, so therefore I'm not a perfectionist. And the very, the very fact that they say that kind of indicates that they are perfectionists, because being a perfectionist isn't about your results. So it's not about, I always get distinctions, therefore I'm a perfectionist. That's not it at all. So if you're on deadline for your studies or for work, and we're talking about studies here, so we're going to focus on that. If you have a deadline, how much do you focus on the deadline versus how much do you focus on what you need to do? And the problem is that they're never ready for the exam. They haven't finished the syllabus by the time the exam comes. That balance between saying, well, I have a deadline and I have a goal to meet and I need to balance them out. If my deadline's very far away and I've got a lot of time to do what I need to do, then fine, I can do each thing and I can get it all right and nice. But if my deadline's very close, I either need to focus on getting everything perfect, but I won't meet the deadline, or achieving the goal. The goal is to pass. The goal is to understand what I'm doing, and therefore I need to work backwards and adjust what I'm doing in order to meet that. So I think you can see the danger of being a perfectionist is that you're not balancing out what needs to be done by the deadline. So you'll generally find, or I generally find, that students defer exams, or they don't write exams. They really struggle with that, and they struggle with the study process because they never feel ready. You're never going to feel ready for an exam. That's the whole point of exams, to test new knowledge, to test knowledge that you're not comfortable with. But being a perfectionist, it's more important for you to focus on doing what you feel you need to do, and feel like you're ready and you've gotten everything down to the last detail before you'll move on. I'm not ready to move on, and the deadline is approaching, and you're not adjusting your approach, and that's very, very dangerous. It means that you're not going to achieve anything. Your knowledge might be perfect, but it's 2 years after the exam. That's not helpful. Your project needs to be on time. Your project could be perfect, but if it's 6 weeks late, it doesn't mean anything to anyone. You haven't actually achieved the goal.